Hey, this is Eric from CyberZiv, and I just wanted to do a quick overview on how it is being tall or having a tall torso in a modern vehicle. And it can be a little frustrating. So just to show you, this is about what my view looks like in the Kia EV6. So you can see I can barely make out the HUD display there, and it kind of comes and goes, and it's a little blurry. See, if I go up just a little bit more, you can see it going out of focus there. And so I can sometimes see the speed, but I have to kind of duck my head down. And then you notice the top of the instrument cluster is cut off there. So like I can't see any of the warnings. I have to duck my head down to see those. The speed I can see, but I can't see the range. It's just kind of where they're located. And then the display is fine. For usability with the Kia, you can see some of the controls down here are blocked. My main complaint with the usability is this multi-function display here that you have to, if I want to get out of Android Auto or something, it's easiest to like get back here, and then to get back to Android Auto, I never remember how to do this. I think if I go to, I have it set up in the star menu to make it easier, but yeah, I always get confused on how to get out of this display. There it is, home. My problem here is with the Kia design, you have to jump around. You're here, you're over here, and then this is just a disaster with the two up and down arrows. I don't know what made him think that's better than a left and a right and a up and a down. Because I'm like, which one of this volume? Well, I know if you use it enough, you'll learn that the outer one is volume and this is up and down. But the same over here, right? You know, you have which one changes your speed. It's not intuitive. You can look at the little picture, but you can't really do that when you're driving very well. So if you don't have it memorized, you're out of luck. I think I just realized something here. Is this star button do something? Oh, you can configure it. Okay, that's handy. So I mean, I like the Kia fine, but just being a tall person, it kind of is a little uncomfortable. And to add to that, what makes it even worse is the headroom in the sunroof model. There's like this piece right here interferes with the headroom, so I'll bump my head. I have to lean into the center a little bit. So, I mean, it's not a huge problem. I make do. I've had tall cars before. I can put the steering wheel up, and then I can see everything. But then if you look down here, I have 4 inches above my leg here, and it feels like I'm driving a bus. So yeah, you won't see me doing that. I prefer to have it in a normal, comfortable driving position. This is just really uncomfortable for me up here. But it does let me see the dash. And so this is the Kia. I'll show in the Model 3. I have some complaints with that one too. It's not all roses and sunshine. So down here is the other complaint with the Kia, is that these are touch sensitive in the GT line. So you rest your hand here to actually get, so you can hit the button. A better method is to do this, but even then, you notice my knuckles will swipe across this and activate stuff down here on accident. And so it's a kind of an annoying design, and it's also hard for the passenger to reach the screen over here. But I do like that this portion is always present, and what this lets you do is you can turn on your climate with auto. Like if something's not working, just hit that button and it's on automatic. And you can do the defrosters and recirculate separately. I think automatic should cover the recirculate, so it's not a huge deal, but having the defrost buttons there is what I like, and being able to turn it off quickly. Now let's go take a look at the Tesla. And I better put the steering wheel down or my wife's going to complain on that. So how does it look in the Tesla? Now the camera's at my eye position here. I can't get the display up since I'm charging right now. The speed is usually right here in the corner. One of my complaints with Tesla is it used to be a big number right here in the center, and they've moved it up over here. I think I just locked my car. And then if I put my hand up here, you can see I start blocking where the speed is right there. So that's about my only complaint. I do have to move my hand down. And that's also something Tesla changed, right? You know, it used to not be a problem and now it is. And my other complaint with Tesla is the font is a little small on some of this stuff. So, you know, if you have really good vision, it's not a huge deal, but like it's a little small. Like there's the garage door opener button right there. They've made it smaller over the years. So on the plus side is I have a lot of headroom in the Tesla. I have a good 4 inches without anything to hit. Downside is I don't have a sunroof. What I like about the Tesla, and you know, people complain about the center screen, but what I really like about it is that everything is in one spot, right? So the only controls in the car are really right there. You have your stocks for, you know, in the current Teslas, you have stocks that might be going away, but you have the stocks for operation. And then there's no controls over here other than your, you know, your typical window and door controls, but that makes sense there. And the steering wheel only has simple up, down, left, right, and press. So this can go up and down, left and right, and push it in. And it activated the talking there. So, and the context of what these do depends on, you know, what mode you're in. If you're trying to adjust your seating, well, you can do driver profile settings. You can do individual driver profiles. If I go to here, under controls, the first page that pops up, this is the car menu where everything is. And, you know, the car menu is always right there, and it's always the same thing, and you always get, you know, the main menu of the car. The key is a little hard to find the car menu sometimes. But if I do steering here, it says, okay, use the left control wheel up, down, left, or right to adjust the steering wheel. So if I go over here, and if I go left, you see the steering wheel moves towards me, it moves in, and it moves up and down. So just using the control wheel, very intuitive, and then it automatically resaves it. I'm going to hit restore because I don't know what I just did. And it set it back to how I had it before I played with it. And the same is true with the mirrors. If you want to adjust the mirrors, same thing. You use the wheel and you can adjust the tilt by moving it up and down, left and right. And you can have it fold them stuff when you park. It's typical settings there, and you just select which mirror you want to control. But from a safety perspective, I like that everything is in one spot. It's all in this car menu here, and you can find all your settings pretty easily. What I don't like with Tesla is there used to be a nice thing of buttons across the bottom here that was fixed, including, you know, your kind of critical defrost functions. Well, they decided to remove those from being right there, and they did give me a set of 4 programmable buttons that I can set there. So I set one of them to be front defroster because that's kind of critical in my opinion. However, if I hit the temperature there, it just turns it on climate control. And I can swipe up, or I think I touch it there. And then I have defrost controls here. It's in turbo mode. But like to do the rear seating, I can turn it off by holding that. To do the rear seating defrosters, the seat heaters for the front are there, but in the rear I have to come into here and I can turn them on, change the settings. I can do all off if I don't want to touch each one. And on the front, I just have them set to auto, but you can turn them on there too and just toggle through them. But yeah, so Tesla kind of monkeys around with this stuff, and that bothers me from a safety perspective, because something where I used to know where a function was moved on me with the next software update. Now, sure, I can read that in the test in the book, but that's not always the best attitude to have, right? Because You miss things when you read the book once. It's like you can't get everything the first time through. And the garage door is an example of that. It used to be down here, and it was really easy. Well, and before that, it was actually up here, so it's moved twice now. And now it's really hard to see the button. And then the other thing with Tesla, the controls, you turn the heater off so it's not so loud. The other thing with Tesla with the controls is the one mechanical control I don't like is the wipers. If I press this button here on the end, it will cause it to run the wiper once or clean. So let me do that. And when I do that, you notice the setting comes up down here where I can set it to whatever I want. It went away there. So you can hit that button, get the display up there right away, and then say put it on 3. I'll put it on auto. And so that works. And you do have a manual button to run the wiper. I mean, it's not like it's a safety concern. You can just keep pressing it if you need to. And the gear shifter has a parking brake button on it, so nothing too exciting there. But overall, 99% of the controls are here. Legally, they're required to have an emergency hazard button in the center line of the car. It has to be anywhere in the center line so that a person can easily find it. And Tesla chose to put it up top. I think my GM had it up there. Some other cars, put it wherever, down here usually. And so this is the Tesla. I like the controls. I can open the hood and the trunk, lock it. This they made more obvious now. There's also a little lock button up here. Sometimes people don't know where that is. Quick note here just to show off this when I'm in the Tesla. If I'm on the map, you notice how quick and responsive it is. I can just hit this supercharger button and it shows me all the superchargers nearby, and I can click on one of those and go, oh look, there's 8 stalls available out of 8 stalls total, and they max at 250 kilowatts. It shows me how busy it is, and this schedule is not very busy at all, and it shows me the pricing too. So 31 cents a kilowatt hour for that one. And you can see all of these here very quickly. I tried to route to it, and it tells me the directions. That's not what I was really trying to do, though. I was trying to do this. And this shows 6 stalls available, 8 stalls total, same price as the other one, showing it's a little busier than usual. A whole 2 cars makes it busy, I guess. And then end trip. So that's the Tesla. And, again, there's a lot of personal opinion here. What I just find this all in one spot to be a lot easier. And honestly, I was one of those people initially that hated this center display. I'm like, that's terrible. It's awful. All touchscreen. But after using it for 4 years now, I just much prefer it to the other one, actually. So thanks. And I like any EV. I'm not pro one EV or anti another EV. I just like Tesla because everything just works. And, the charging works, the navigation works to get you to chargers. I'm not saying it's without its faults, though. So it's just, I recommend them because I really like them. That's all. And the Kia, I also recommend. Now, if I had to pay the same price for the EV6 versus the Model Y, I'd buy the Model Y every time just because it's so much better at this stuff. It's, being an electric car, it's best at. If I want to do a software update, I just come in here. It's checking for updates. I don't have any updates to download, unfortunately, but I get one about every month. And then I just download it. If they add a supercharger, how I was showing on the map there, there's only 5 stalls available now. If they add a supercharger, I don't need to get a software update for that to show up in the database. It's just there, and it works, and you get that live over the air, like within a day or two of that station opening. It's updated in the map. And the same is true if it goes offline. That will be reflected in here. You won't be able to go. It'll tell you that it's offline. So that's a huge, huge improvement. And with that, thanks, and like and subscribe, and I'll try to get some more content up as soon as I can.